Alright, what's up everybody? So today I'm actually sitting in the 2023 Lincoln Navigator. Now that's actually the black label version of the Lincoln Navigator. And today I'm going to see if this $117,000 SUV is worth getting. So let's find out. So with most big SUVs like the Lincoln Navigator, Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Tahoe, and all of them, you mostly buy it for rear people occupants, you know, second row, third row, and storage as well. So let's start in the second row of the Lincoln Navigator first. And as you can see, this is actually pretty good. Now I'm actually 5'10". Yeah, I'm actually 5'10". And actually got good headroom and I got good leg room as well. Now the seat is skewed up a bit, but I do got plenty of leg room back here. It's actually pretty good. I actually do like that you got pretty good headroom back here and leg room. But another thing I want to talk about are these seats. Now these seats are actually white, which I actually do appreciate because it does brighten up the interior a bit. And yes, I am sweating. It is hot outside, but don't mind that. But yeah, these are white seats. Do like that. Another thing I actually like is that you got this little screen right here, which you control your climate controls right here. Also, you control the massage right here. You control the left or right. You can pick what density you want, which upper level gets it. You can also control the seats, turn your heated seats on or cool seats as well. You also got audio. You control the radio from up there in the front, and you got your settings for other stuff like that. These seats are actually pretty comfortable, but that's not really what I want to talk about. I really want to talk about is that you actually can move the seat forward and back by just pulling this this lever at the bottom of the seat. You can just move it forward just like this. You can move forward and back to give the rear passengers some more space, or just to adjust yourself so you give yourself a little bit more room or whatnot. But yeah, you could just move the seat forward and back by just pulling this lever at the bottom of the seat. Alright, so another thing I just want to talk about in this with the seats are you can recline them just like most seats. You could just recline them by pulling this lever on the side of the seat by the door. You can just pull it and you can just move yourself forward or back to give you a comfortable seating position. Alright, so another thing I want to talk about with this second row is that it actually has a lever on the seat. So it has a lever about right here to get access to the third row and to get out of the third row. So like I said, to access the third row and to get out of the third row, all you gotta do is just lift this lever up. As you can see, I'm lifting the lever up, and you can just move the seat forward. And the seat will go forward when you push the seat forward, and so you can get out of the third row and get into the third row, which is actually pretty good. It's just a little tab that you just pull up, and the seat will move forward, and you can just get into the third row and get out of the third row. Alright, so how does the leg room compare to the Cadillac Escalade? Well, it's actually pretty good actually. Now, they're pretty much similar to each other because they basically ride the same lift of each other. So there's that. But yeah, they pretty much the same. Leg room, headroom, pretty much the same. And Escalade. Now, depending on where your seating position is at, that plays a big factor to it. But as a whole, I believe it's pretty much similar to each other. So there's no really drawbacks or advantage to each other. They're pretty much similar to each other. But I do believe, because I did do a video on the Escalade V, which is pretty much the same thing as the regular Escalade, but that I believe the leg room in that was a little bit tight, a little bit shorter than this, but it's pretty much similar to each other, so I will say that. Alright, so moving to the third row of the Navigator, one of the things I forgot to talk about in the second row is that it has a grab handle on the side, behind the second row seat has a grab handle. So I guess if older people try to get up and get in, they probably just can't reach the grab handle that's already by the second row, so they could just reach this little bottom portion to get in and assist them to get in and all that type of stuff, which is actually pretty good actually. Nice engineering, to include a little handle, like a little cutout area to help older people get in or whatnot. Alright, so another feature I actually want to talk about in this third row is actually has a reclining seat, so you can recline the seat. Now this and the Grand Wagoneer are the only ones I'm pretty sure in the segment I believe Range Rover has it, but that's in a different class, really. But Navigator and the Grand Wagoneer has reclining third row. The Escalade does not. Now, the Escalade is due for a refresh. I believe it's coming next year or later on this year or something like that. I really don't know, but it is coming around. I would say next year or something, where it will get a refresh. So it might have this feature. I don't know, but this and the Grand Wagoneer has reclining third row, but the Escalade does not, which is pretty disappointing, but there's that. Alright, so another thing that you want to talk about in this third row of the Navigator is actually the legroom and headroom. Now, the legroom, headroom, like I say, is pretty much the same as in the second row. Good 510, good headroom. Now, the legroom, on the other hand, is actually pretty good. Now, you do got good legroom back here. Now, this seat is almost far back, but you do got good legroom back here, which I actually do appreciate and like. Now, the reason is I do got good legroom back here and my knees are not in my face is because this floor, now this Navigator has an independent rear suspension, which actually lowers the floor and get better ride quality. And so basically you get more legroom in the third row. Actually pretty impressive. I actually do like that. Alright, so another thing I forgot to mention with the second row is that it has, charging ports back here. You got, your household style outlet right here, a cigarette outlet right here, and another outlet on the right side of it. Pretty good. You got 3 charging places you can put your phone at, charge your phone, and all that good stuff. Alright, so now we're moving into the front seat of the Lincoln Navigator. Now, this is actually where it gets very good and I actually do like. Now, I really want to talk about the seats. Now, the seats are actually 30 ways, as Lincoln, believe Lincoln said, 30-way seats. Now, this is actually pretty crazy, actually, 30-way seats. Now, you can control your seats on the door. Now, and not on the bottom seat like most cars, actually on the door. As you can see, you actually can move the seats each position, right? So you can move the headrest, this piece right here, the lower piece, and the seat itself all in one, right? Which I actually do like. You got to control this and the bottom part and the headrest, because usually you could just control, like, you could just move the seat forward and back, tilt it forward and back, and that about it, really, in most cars. But in here, you could control the headrest, this piece, the lower piece, and the bottom part itself, which I actually do appreciate and like, because it does give you most configurability with the seats. Alright, so we're actually under the hood of this Lincoln Navigator. So under the hood of this Lincoln Navigator is actually a twin turbo V6 making 450 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque. Now, this engine is actually from a Ford Raptor. Yes, a Ford Raptor. So this has luxury SUV, has a performance engine basically from Ford. So yeah, that's actually pretty insane that this car has a Raptor engine in it, which I've been knowing for a long time. But yeah, just to fit it in a Lincoln Navigator, pretty cool. Alright, so another thing I want to talk about with this Lincoln Navigator is actually storage as a whole, right? So the storage in this car is actually pretty good. Now, first thing storage I will talk about is in the center console, which is actually pretty deep, right? Which, you can fit a lot of stuff in there, which is pretty cool. I know in the Escalade you actually can get an ice box. I don't know about this one, but I know in the Escalade you can get an ice box, freezer. You can put your food, drinks in there, and all that type of stuff. It's actually pretty good, but I don't know if this one has it or not. But it is, I think it's an option. I don't know, but there is that. Yeah. All right, so another thing I want to talk about is the trunk. Now, the trunk is actually pretty good, actually. Now, I am putting all the seats down so you can see how big this thing is in the back. Now, all the seats are getting put down. You can see you got massive space back there. Massive space. You can put a lot of stuff back there. Good stuff back there, too. TV, whatever. Because it's actually very huge space. I actually do like that. Same thing for the Escalade. Escalade got pretty much the same amount of space back here as well, because basically the same size. So, yeah, there is that. Like I said, good amount of space. Same thing for the Escalade. Good space. Alright, so another thing I want to talk about is this feature is actually a very impressive feature. It's called Blue Cruise. So basically think of it of like GM Super Cruise and Tesla Autopilot basically. So it's basically a driver assisted feature is basically semi-autonomous driving, just like Tesla's autopilot and GM Super Cruise, basically. So it basically drive on the highway for you up to, like, I believe it does on the highway only. I don't know about the roads, but I know it does it on the highway only though. But other than that, it's just basically just like Super Cruise and Tesla's autopilot, but it only does it on the highway. It drives for itself basically. And final thing before I close out today's video is actually the design of this. Now the design of this is actually pretty good. I actually do like it. Now I do like the back of this a lot more than the front. The back of it is actually pretty mature. I actually do like it. It's actually, I like how the lights look. I don't like how the previous light look towards this Navigator, but the front is fine. I don't mind that, but it's a big, bold kind of thing. But the back of it is actually nicer than what it was before, which is actually pretty impressive and nice. Oh, another final thing I actually want to talk about is the pricing. Now I actually got the sticker, window sticker right here, and so hold on, I can find it. Actually, where is it? Well, I'll try to find the base price of this, but basically the total price of this is actually $117,298, which, you know, I believe the Escalade starts around 70, close to 80,000. It goes up to at least 120,000, and then the Escalade V starts around like 150. So there's that. Navigator starts around the same price, I believe. I'll put it up on the screen right here. But yeah, and this particular one is $117,000, so it's pretty good now. Yeah. Alright, so that is actually it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy my little review of this Lincoln Navigator, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.